Hi, everyone, again. We're back, Book Some More 1818, and we have another sensational guest. Well, let's see who we're here with today. My guest today is Sharon Mabry. Yes, Sharon Mabry. Welcome to the show, Book Some More 1818, Sharon. Can you please hold up your book, The Postmaster's Daughter? There it is, The Postmaster's
I
Daughter.
certainly will.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Can you tell us something about yourself and read a snippet of the postmaster's daughter to the audience?
I'll be glad to. I've spent most of my life in the music world. I was a professional singer for about 50 years, and I taught voice at Austin Peay State University for 52 years. So I have spent my whole life in the music world. And during that time, I did recordings and traveled around the United States and Europe doing concerts. And all during that time, I kept a journal with me and made little notes about all of the places that we went, things we ate, people that we saw, and all the situations that happened to us. And so that was useful for not only this book, but for a book that I wrote earlier in time.
Wow, you are so accomplished. My goodness. My aunt used to give piano recitals in Manhattan. So she was very talented. And my grandmother used to push me in front of the piano to play, but I never tried my hand at it. You never know. But it's so nice to meet you. And ladies and gentlemen, I only read one of her books, The Postmaster's Daughter. I highly recommend it. I couldn't put it down. I was reading it late into the night. It was great. I
Oh,
loved it.
that's something that every mystery writer wants to hear.
Oh, oh my goodness.
It's always nice when people say they can't put it down, and especially if they don't know who did it, in the middle of the novel. So I'm hoping you didn't find out who did it until nearly the end.
I didn't. And that's what made it so fantastic. That's exactly. I couldn't find out who did it. Read it for yourself, ladies
Oh,
and
good.
gentlemen, and you will see. You'll see what I mean. What kinds of things have you written?
Well, they always tell you to write what you know. And when I was in the music world for so long, I wrote books about music. I have two books, one by Oxford University Press and another one by Scarecrow Press, that are about music. And I also was writing articles about new music for 25 years for the Nats Journal of Singing. So I mostly wrote about music, but as I traveled around, for performances, I really felt that I needed something to do while I was waiting for a rehearsal or waiting for a performance because you can get so nervous when you're just sitting backstage doing nothing. And so I would take a journal and I started on this particular novel. Even though it was not published until late 2022, I started writing this novel in 1992. So it took 30 years, not that long to finish it. I actually finished it many years ago, but I was so busy with singing and teaching and writing about music over the years that I didn't really have any time to sort of pursue fiction. But once I knew that I was going to retire in 2021, I thought, what am I going to do? I've spent all this time in music. So I thought, now's the time to do something with this novel. So in late 2021, I started looking for a publisher and was very lucky to find a great one. And this book came out in late 2022. So that's kind of the history of what I've been doing all of this time and the kinds of things that I've been writing.
Now, your publisher, I think it's Thorncraft Publishing, right? Am I correct?
It is.
Yes.
Yes. And I was very impressed by them because during my singing career, I was particularly interested in performing music by women composers. And so I did some recordings and lots of performances of music by women. And Thorncraft Publishing is a publishing company that only publishes writings by women. And so that was the thing that gave me my first interest in them. And I just, sent them a query letter. You just expect you won't hear from them in months or years or ever. But the publisher wrote back in a few days and said, I would like to read the whole book. So I sent the whole book, and she wrote back in a few days and said, I couldn't put it down, and I want to publish this book. And I fell off my chair, and that was it.
Bravo, bravo. My goodness, that's awesome. Fantastic. How did you become a writer of fiction after quite a different backgrounds?
Well, I think I always really enjoyed fiction. I have always been particularly interested in mysteries of all kinds. So, for years and years, probably since I was in high school, I would read fiction, and I would read mysteries in particular. So, I've always had a mystery book with me. And I thought, well, I love this so much. This is the genre that I should probably try to write, because I've read so many mysteries over the years, and it just seemed to be a good fit. I have written memoirs, and those are a different kind of thing, but I just love mysteries, and I love to kind of spin out a story and make people wait to the very end to figure out who did it.
Well, you're very good at it. When I look your face, when I'm looking at your face, I'm thinking Agatha Christie.
Of
I
course, I think I probably read every Agatha Christie book. And I love Elizabeth George, and P.D. James, and all the people that you can probably conjure up in your mind. So I've read many different kinds of mysteries, but I realized that I wasn't really interested, and probably didn't have the expertise to write something like a Scarpetta novel or something like that. That was more of digging into the details. Uh, my novel is more character driven, and there is a definite plot that goes through the whole thing. But I love to develop the characters, and get people to know and feel that they have met that person before, and they know what they look like and maybe what they ate. My novel has a lot of food in it, because East Tennessee, where I grew up, is a place where people love to have Southern cooking, and I felt that it needed to be in the book.
Southern Comfort. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
You have written academic books, a memoir, and fiction. How is the writing process different for each?
Well, I think it's quite different. I had mostly written academic books until about 2010. And the first academic book I wrote for Oxford University Press was about how to perform unusual vocal techniques, because the notation looks different than normal musical notation. And so that book was very much an instructional kind of book that is geared more towards singers who want to sing that kind of music. But I was also getting to know composers during that time. I worked with about 30 different composers during my career, and I found that quite interesting to collaborate with composers. And so, in academic writing, I think you have to be more factual. You have to make sure that you have everything exactly the way that it should be, and give examples and so forth. But when you're writing fiction, you can really use your imagination and put people in places where they've never been before, and write stories around them without worrying about whether you got it just right or not, whether they actually appeared in that place or not.
Definitely makes a lot of sense to me. Absolutely. I thought the character development was amazing in your book. That's, I was reading it and I said, wow, this is excellent. Definitely. There's so much to be said about her book, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely. Definitely a fan of you. Big fan.
Well, thank you. I love, yeah, these characters are not people that I knew, but they're like people that I knew. And there are actually some names in the book that are family names. There's one of the sisters of Lila Mae is Molly, and that was one of my favorite cousins who came to my house all of the time. And there's Aunt Ethel, who is kind of patterned after my mother in the fact that my mother was a great Southern cook, and so I wanted to give that characteristic to Aunt Ethel. And my mother also collected antique glassware. And so did Aunt Ethel in the book. So they're kind of patterned after people that I knew, but their personalities and the things that they do are purely fiction.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Tell us about your mystery, The Postmaster's Daughter, set in the mountains of East Tennessee in 1937. Yes, 1937.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yes, I said it then because I wanted the characters to be facing all kinds of challenges during that time period. That was a time period that my parents grew up in. And some of the things that they talked about during that time kind of influenced this story. And also, I wanted to give a feeling for what it was like to be in East Tennessee. The small town that I grew up in was Newport, which is right at the foot of the Smoky Mountains. It's very close to Gatlinburg, and many of your viewers may have been to Gatlinburg in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And it's right there in that beautiful area. And so the town of Selby that I set this novel in is very similar to the town I grew up in. It's not the town, but it's very, very, very like it. There's a river that runs through it, the Pigeon River, and there's a river that runs through this book as well, where many, many events take place along that river in the book. So I wanted to give a taste of the area that I grew up in because I know the people well. I know how they speak. I knew how they might dress if they were in 1937. I knew I wanted to have some classic cars in the book because I've always been fascinated by classic cars. And I gave one of the characters a car collection, and he's very rich, so he can buy just anything he wants. And so I wanted to show differences in the kind of people who would have lived there. Not just farmers or not people who were bankers, but people who had a lot of money and maybe they, talked together and went to church together. But there are lots of secrets and there's lots of greed and there are lots of things in here that people are denying ever happened. And so that's what propels the story from beginning to end.
Mystery. Yes, quite a mystery.
Yes.
Quite a mystery.
Yeah.
What brought these characters to life in your story? Were they people that you knew? We already discussed that actually, I think, before. We did talk about that. Uh, tell us about your book awards. Can you name them?
Well, yes, this book had won two awards, and it was in the National Indie Excellence Awards. It was a finalist for the Best Mystery category in 2023. I think there were three finalists for that. I realized that hundreds of books are submitted for these book awards every year, and frankly, I was shocked that we were able to get two awards. The second award was the finalist for the American Writing Awards in the best debut novel in 2023. So that was just sort of icing on the cake. I didn't write the book in order to win awards, but my publisher is happy, and I was happy when that happened. And it has helped to get the word out to people about the books because those books and those awards are on the websites of those particular awards. And so people do, I think, notice those.
Are you selling a lot of books? Have you sold a lot of books? How's the book doing?
book has done very well, according to my publisher. Of course, I live in an area where there are lots and lots of folks who have book clubs, and I have talked to many, many book clubs. I have enjoyed that a lot. It's not something I ever did before because as a singer, I was always on a stage and people were out there listening, and maybe they came up after the performance and would say, "Oh, this was nice," or "We really enjoyed that." But when you're talking to a book club, they're really into the book. They're wanting to know why you said this on page 5 and what was your motivation for that character. And that's a really interesting thing to do. I've met a lot of people that I never would have met before if I hadn't gotten into the book world. So, and we've been very fortunate. Parnassus Bookstore, which is Ann Patchett's bookstore, is in Nashville, just down the road from me. And the book has done very well there. After this book came out, I wrote another book, which is a memoir, and we had our book launch at Parnassus there this past year. So we're happy that people seem to be enjoying it.
Excellent, excellent. Wow. Will you ever go back to singing?
No,
But were you a singer or a
I'm
pianist? I'm trying to
I
remember.
I was a pianist first.
Right,
I started studying piano when I was 6
right.
and started studying voice when I was 9.
Okay.
And so I played piano and sang all the way through high school. And then I majored in both piano and voice as an undergraduate. Then I got a master's degree in piano and a doctorate in voice. So I kept going back and forth. But most of my career has been as a vocal performer. Yes. Mhm.
My goodness. Impressive. You are very impressive. I'm glad to know you.
Well, thank you.
And now turn writer, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? Wow. So accomplished. Is there an audiobook coming? Say yes.
Yes, yes, that has
Yes,
been a really
yes.
interesting project. The book is finished. It is not out yet. We're waiting for the company that distributes it. They have to review it and approve it, but the publisher has approved it, and so it's in its final stages. We hope it will be out by the end of this summer. I actually read the book. My publisher wanted me to read it because she thought I would be able to get the accent of the East Tennessee people in a way that was perhaps, more what it should be in some ways. So I tried to do that. It was very interesting to do. I had not done an audiobook before, though I've listened to many, many audiobooks,
Oh, me
but I
too.
never had any idea how much went those audiobooks. It
So
takes a
will
while.
you
We
you
work.
will be doing the audiobook? The voice will be from you?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
I must have it. Oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna
Well,
be good. By
it's
the way,
going to be
I love
out
your
soon, I
accent.
hope.
I love your accent. I love it.
Well, thank you. This is my teaching accent. My East Tennessee accent is just a little bit different.
Oh my goodness.
Think
Yeah,
Dolly Parton.
yeah, yeah. Would you be able to read an excerpt of your book for us? Of the
Yes,
Postmaster's Daughter? Yeah.
I will. Let me read just a paragraph that appears early in the book to tell you a little bit about Lila May, who is one of the main characters in the book, just to let you see what this book is about. It's just a short section.
Okay.
Some nights, Lila Mae Putnam would wake to a room full of screaming girls and boys, only to have them vanish. She would stand for what seemed like hours, going over shifting memories and fading pictures of that awful day and what came after it. But the memory that would never fade was the sight of her beautiful, loving sister, her best friend in all of time, the only one who really cared, floating face down in the pond. From that deliberate and cruel moment, Lila May's existence would become a surreal picture of what might have been. Her truly spoken life was changed forever. But little girls can't know those things. They just have to appear in the course of living, and Lila's certainly did.
Oh, that's in the beginning of the book. That got me when I read it right away. I said, oh my gosh, my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that particular paragraph was, during this first draft of the book, I gave it to a friend of mine who was in the English department at my university, and I asked him to read the book and tell me, what things he thought should change. Well, he liked the book very much, and really the only change he made, other than just a comma here and there, was this paragraph that I just read to you was originally buried somewhere about page 78. And so he said, that paragraph really needs to go at the front of the book. And he was so right.
Oh,
Putting it in front of the book made all the difference.
are we talking about what you just read?
Yes. Hmm.
I agree. That was a great opener.
Yeah.
Excellent. When I
Yeah.
read that was it for me. I had to read more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
good.
I, I
I
wouldn't
think that
change anything. I wouldn't change anything about your book. And that's hard to say because every book you can always change something about it, but not your book. No. Mm-mm.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so much. I appreciate
No,
that.
no, nothing. Yeah. I'm being sincere. I read a lot. I'm still thinking about the book. I
I
love
bet
it.
you do.
Yeah. And I'm a big, big
Uh,
mystery fan. I love mystery books. Love them. I love memoirs and I
well,
love mystery books. Yeah.
yeah,
Will there be
the memoir.
more mystery books, perhaps? More?
I'm working on a new one now. Again, I'm doing sort of what I know. This mystery book is going to be about two singers who are friends, and they teach at a music conservatory and they solve crimes.
Oh,
And so it's going to be called The Diva Diaries.
oh, I like the name, the Diva. Oh my God. Is it going to be like a Cagney and Lacey type of mystery or?
Well, they're going to get involved in all kinds of intrigues within the music conservatory where they teach, because there are lots of intrigues within the academic world. I think probably most people don't realize that, but there are lots of political things going on and backbiting and all kinds of things like that. And they get involved in all of that. And then, of course, there has to be a murder. And there is a murder, and maybe another one. And so they will try to solve the crimes as well as other people. And so we'll see. I haven't finished it yet, but I have about probably 15 or 16 chapters finished, and hopefully I can get it finished by the end of the year.
Oh, I hope I get to read it. Oh my God. Now, if I'm talking about Cagney and Lacey, that was back in the day. It was like a police detective show. So mixing that
Uh-huh.
in the book would be cool. Like police and yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, these two people are teaching at the university, and they're affected by a lot of the things that are going on with this murder, and another person who's visiting the university who's creating all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
And there will be a police detective and so forth. So it will be a mystery, and but not like it will be a modern day mystery. It will not be set in 1937.
Oh, that's going to be a different take. Very interesting. Now, why did you decide to become a writer all of a sudden? Do you have writers in your family? Is it in your blood? How did you feel when you first started writing?
I don't have any writers in my family, and I guess I was an only child,
Yeah.
and I always was reading something, as I was growing up, and I was always good in English. I loved English; was one of my favorite subjects in school, and English and music were really the two things that I loved most. And I enjoyed writing papers even then. I really loved to use my imagination. And I always kept a little diary when I was growing up and would write about things that were going on in school and so forth. So it was just a natural kind of thing to do. I I don't think that I ever thought that I would publish fiction. It never occurred to me until I started to retire because I thought, what else would I do? I don't paint or, those kinds of things that people want to have time to do. So this was a natural movement away from music, and there's kind of a flow to it, so much like there is music. You start with an idea, and you can be creative, and so it probably will continue for me for as long as I continue.
Writing is really fascinating. I mean, even myself. I mean, I had my father who was a writer. He wrote books. My cousin. I'm just surrounded by writers, but I never thought to do it myself. I always help writers, but I started writing myself, like articles on Substack, just about everything and anything. And once I started doing that, all kinds of ideas started flowing every day in my head. I feel like I can write about anything. There's always, like, if even just walking in my block, seeing things, or waking up in the morning, things that happen during the day, and it's therapeutic too. So I'm enjoying it. I mean, how does it
I
feel
think,
to you to be a writer? Do you have any special feelings?
well, yeah, I mean it's great. I've really, first of all, I encourage you to keep going because when I'm talking to these book clubs, I find lots of people in those book clubs who say they never thought about being a writer, but they have started writing memoirs, to leave information for their children or grandchildren or things like that, and that's such a wonderful thing to do, to leave information for, about how you spent your life, things that you talked about, things that people that you met. And so it was just kind of a natural thing for me to do, and I love doing it. When I'm at the doctor's office, I have my little pad. I'm sitting there waiting for my, meeting with the doctor, and I'm looking around the waiting room, and I'm thinking, oh, I love to be a people watcher.
Yes, yes.
So I make notes about what they might be talking about or what shoes they have on, what they might be looking through their purse for. And it gives you great ideas about how to come up with a story, in your own mind. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we are going to be running out of time, unfortunately, but you writers, all the writers I've worked with, and there's been a lot. You all
Mhm.
inspired. I've been so inspired, and I learned so much from all of you. So thank you. You all, I've been so inspired that I do it myself now. Okay, so enough of me. Where
Good.
can we purchase your book? What would you like to say in closing? Because we're running out of time, unfortunately.
Well, the book, of course, is on Amazon, and so you can purchase it that way. It's at
Okay.
Barnes and Noble. You can purchase it through your local independent bookstore.
Mhm.
You can simply order it that way. It's in some bookstores, but it's very difficult to get your book in an independent store. Just to get shelf space because there are so many hundreds of thousands of books out there, you can't get them all in. But they will order it for you. And Parnassus Books in Nashville, you can order online. They have it in stock all the time. So it's available everywhere. I would just like to say for anybody who wants to be a writer, try not to edit yourself. Just let yourself experiment with whatever form you want to write in, whether it's poetry or memoir or mystery or fantasy, whatever it is that interests you, and just go for it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it.
I totally agree with you. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on our show. Show us your book one more time, The Postmaster's Daughter by Sharon Mabry. Here's her book, Hold It High, The Postmaster's Daughter. Please buy it. Please review it. Please, Goodreads, Amazon, Barnes& and Noble. Reviews are very important. And buy her book, please. Book some more 1818 on YouTube and Spotify. Please subscribe to our channel. It's a free channel, YouTube and Spotify. Comment, like, share with your friends. And goodbye for now. And thank you so much, Sharon. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Bye, everyone. Good night. And till next